I have Travis Waits here in the studio today, excited to talk to him about his unique business. He's a leadership strategist. He understands at a deep level what it takes, what ticks in a leader, and why what's ticking gets off balance. And so I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about this today.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. First, let me tell you really what the hidden problem with leadership is. The very first part is, for most people who are in that leadership position, their outside doesn't match their inside. They may talk a good game, they may have all the right material possessions, the house on the hill, the car, the dog, the kids, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And from all outside perceptions, it looks like it's going well. But on the inside, they feel depleted, they feel stuck. They're not experiencing as much joy as they used to. They're finding that they're increasingly more isolated from those around them. So one of the things that I do in my process is help bring out, really, those encumbrances, those places that maybe other people wouldn't talk about. A lot of people talk about the personal development space, and I know that you're an expert in it, and how they're so different from everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of noise in the marketplace. So it sounds like you have some kind of compelling program that you put together. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, really, there's a difference between living wholehearted and actually walking in wholeness. And the difference is that not only do we talk about your outside matching your inside, but I give you the practical steps to actually guide you through that process so it's not just measurable and accountable, but we actually see the results from day one. It's not a secret sauce. It's not a 5 steps and you're healed. It takes a lot of courageous work. And frankly, it's some butt-kicking work. It's not fun, but people want to experience really freedom or wholeness without it.
What are some of these challenges people are dealing with? You said it was hidden. And so what are some of these things that this program is going to help people discover and overcome?
Yeah, well, a basic framework, an overview of that is there's this piece of masks. We all have them. We can tell when people wear them. It's the stuff that really I want you to see of me, and I don't want to show you. Mm-hmm. Then there's also the blind spot piece. The stuff that, you see about me, and maybe even you're a good enough friend to point that out, but I just don't receive it or I don't see it. I mean, that's at the very basic piece, and we all have it. We all have this really core self, the mask piece, and then there's the blind spots. There's not a person on the planet that doesn't have this. What the difference is, though, are those folks that are actually honest and courageous enough to try to examine what those things are, so we can actually get to that potential place.
Well, most leaders think they're courageous.
Most leaders think that their stuff doesn't stink. And the problem is, they're just as human. Not the problem, that's not really the right way to say it. At the top, it's really tough, to be honest. You almost kind of give up your right to be human card once you scale up to that.
Or you think you do.
You think you do. I would echo that. Because it's this perception. What will you think of me? What will my direct reports think of me? What will the board of trustees think of me? What my investors? What if I'm doing a startup? Well, that perception. There's so many things that are vying for our attention that we really hold this mask of self-protection on. And I don't think that people do it vindictively or intentionally, but it does become intentional. It's just how we learn to operate, our MO, or engaging in relationships that permeate not just the boardroom, but our personal relationships, on the field, with our kids, in our family relationships. So what I do is help people free all that stuff up so you get to be, and I say get to be, really intentional. You get to be the same person in every situation with no excuses, no regrets, no bones about it.
So I know you offer, services where you're actually spending time with people, but what you're talking about is an online program where they can go through on their own time, right?
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of what I do because, well, as you know, in personal development space, getting that deliverable vehicle that is available 24/7, 7 days a week, that's accessible. For a lot of people, just having that accessibility, they're not going to call someone up, go make an appointment, drive across town, and walk into someone's office. And it's also stigmatizing to try to reach out and raise your hand and say, I need some coaching or some counseling. I mean, those are very helpful markets and niches, professionals in that space. But there's a lot of people who feel like they couldn't ever ask for help unless it was from the privacy, really, of their own home. So what we did is we developed this online program, really an online course, if you will, on your time frame, whenever you want. You log in, you go through some lessons, it measures your progress, we do some assessments, we do some planning along the way, we get some FaceTime when it works for you on your schedule, and it's not tied to a geographic location.
What I love about what's different about you and this program is that you're coming from a unique background, some unique experiences. You've been to some of these places, and you've overcome, and you didn't do it alone. So you understand how important this is. But you also have your master's in counseling. You understand coaching. You understand these different concepts, and I wouldn't say you're doing any one of those, but the assemblage of your expertise is coming to the table. So really appreciate you sharing about it. I know people are going to get a ton out of it, and thanks so much for joining us.